This is Chaos Theory
and Cosmic Chisme,
where we put the chaos into theory and spill the tea about the connections between us, nature, and everything in between.
So join us in unraveling the cosmic secrets and coincidences we just couldn't ignore. Mabuhay, Cosmic Chismosos! It is your two favorite chismosas sitting at your breakfast table, ready to spill the deets. How was your week, Kayleen?
It was good. I don't know about you, but I was feeling the energy of this. So I've been hearing all this buzz about Strawberry Moon. Have you heard about this at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so apparently it's going to be the most powerful, or it was the most powerful full moon of the year. And they say that about every full moon, but this past Strawberry Moon, I don't know. I think I was feeling it over the weekend. People, there was a lot of tension in the air, and there was a lot of high emotions. I think we've had our own kind of experiences with that this past weekend too.
Yeah.
But then last night I actually saw the Strawberry Moon, and I understand why they call it the Strawberry Moon, because it was really bright pink. I don't know if you saw. But
I did not see, and really? I need to make sure I look.
Yeah.
Because I definitely believe in that whole, the moon.
The full moon.
Can control things and people. Because when I worked in the emergency room, years ago, the full moon was always a chaotic night. People called out to avoid the full moon night.
Really?
Yes. And there has never been a full moon night that hasn't been chaotic from what I remember working there.
Jeez. That's working in the service industry, we all say the same thing. We're like, is it a full moon or whatever?
Yeah.
Why are people acting this way? But yeah, you can see it. I think of serving as small social experiments, because you're just dealing with whoever is walking in, any walks of life, whatever, that wants to dine at your restaurant. You're having that firsthand experience of the public in so many different varying states. People are hangry, people are meeting up with friends and family and so many different things. And so when the full moon comes around, I feel you can tell with people, you can tell that things are feeling a little off, a little tense.
That's when all the crazy people come in. That's when all that, it never fails.
Yeah.
So I think it has to do something with the gravitational pull or something.
Yeah, and something about us being 70% water, they say.
Yeah,
That's
so
what they say.
we can we're definitely going to get into that one of these episodes.
Exactly, we have to.
So, keep that in mind.
Exactly.
I've been exhausted from having my new chicken coop. And taking care of these chickens.
Yeah.
One got out recently, and I was chasing it, but he went back in, so we got him back.
Where did he go?
He went around the bushes in the back, right behind the coop.
Okay.
And so he was just chilling there.
Is this why there's the notorious joke? Why did the chicken cross the road?
Yeah, that's probably
why you had such a good life on this side of the road. Why'd you leave?
I was I give you your food. I give you your water, and this is how you thank me.
Exactly. You had a sauna.
I breastfed you.
Exactly. And now you're going to cross the other side.
Yeah, so I felt betrayed and sensitive about that. But no, he came back, or she came back. Also, this is my first time ever taking care of chickens, so if you all have any tips, please leave them down in the comments. So one might actually be a rooster, which I hope, because I'd love to hear a rooster crow in the morning. That's one thing I miss about the Philippines is a rooster's crow. While sipping on your coffee, we would sit outside and you could just hear that. Puerto Rico had a lot of them around too.
My mom would tell me stories about how she loves that rooster in the morning that like really makes her feel like at home in Puerto Rico.
So I like that sound. And speaking of which, did you know that along with Caribbean American Heritage Month, it is also Filipino Heritage Month?
I didn't know that.
So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the Philippines, the dramatic discovery, and a couple things that Filipinos do that make them a little bit different from other cultures. All right, so if you don't know where the Philippines is, it is in Southeast Asia. It is an archipelago, which is a term for a chain of islands, and it has over 7,600 of them. My mom is from there. She grew up in Manila, while my dad is from the US of A. All of my maternal family members are over there, cousins, aunts, uncles, my grandmother. Rest in peace, my grandfather. He passed away 3 years ago, and we visit once in a while, and I pretty much grew up surrounded by its culture.
That's right, because you told me that, or you told us in the first episode that it's just on the cusp of what would be considered the Pacific Islands.
Yeah, it's like right there, and it's just part of Southeast Asia. This is a lot of drama, and I'm excited about it. There's pettiness and secondhand embarrassment, and I'm glad I looked into this because I was not paying attention in world history class in middle school. Mm-hmm. So I actually now understood what was going on. So let's see what these 16th century men got into.
Okay.
So starting in 1517, this 30 to 40-year-old-ish explorer from Portugal named Ferdinand Magellan wanted to sail around the world. And Mr. Magellan was a huge part of the age of exploration since he completed the first circumnavigation of the world. And at this time, colonists were trying to figure out better and faster trade routes for these newly discovered islands that had tons of goodies. At first, he tried to convince the King of Portugal, King Manuel, to fund this expedition, but he kept getting denied. His initial pitch was to try to get to the Spice Islands, which were islands in modern-day Indonesia that Portugal owned.
This is Magellan?
This is Magellan.
A lot of people were sent out to look for spices. I just think it's so funny that they're like, we need flavor so bad over here.
And this is like nutmeg or something like that.
It's just some woman that's just like, I am just trying to have the best hot chocolate of my life, but I have no nutmeg.
So he tried to convince the King of Portugal to fund this expedition, but he kept getting denied. And his initial pitch was to try and go to these Spice Islands by going west over the Atlantic instead of going east around Africa, which is the route that Portugal already had control of. Back then in the 15th, 16th century, Spain and Portugal had this treaty agreeing to split the earth in half for exploration. So Portugal got the east and Spain got the west. So if you were more of a visual person, Spain got the Atlantic onward, and then Portugal got like past Africa and all that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right. So Magellan wanted to see if there was a faster way to get to these Spice Islands, which, those contained all these spices that were in demand in Europe. So, hence the name. But King Manuel kept saying no for like 3 years because, one, he felt it was unnecessary and too risky for a whole lot of what may be nothing. And two, he didn't trust Magellan before all this because Magellan was accused of illegally trading and got into some kind of trouble. So he was kind of, a troublemaker back then.
Yeah, he sounds messy.
Yeah.
Messy Magellan.
Right. Right. And King Manuel he was like, I don't trust you, I'm sorry. And three, it would make it seem like Portugal was challenging the treaty they made with Spain, which he has a point.
Okay.
So gotcha. I guess I would say no too.
Right.
Magellan left Portugal and became a citizen of Spain instead. So he was
Traitor.
Like, screw you, King Manuel. You didn't give me what I want. So, I'm gonna go to Spain instead. So Magellan went to this 18-year-old King Charles of Spain with the same pitch, but in a slightly different way. Mm-hmm. He was like, hey, King Charles, let me sail west for you. I can even try to find these like spice islands because they might be on our side and Portugal just took it from us. So let me figure that out. And then also, too, I might even be able to find more islands.
He's already starting drama.
Yep.
He's just getting right in there. He's like, I need to find them. So, okay, so this is just all about his desire to find the spices? Or was everybody?
He likes recognition. Apparently, yes. He was like, I need some recognition. I need some attention. And then he also used his servant, Enrique.
Enrique.
So
Spice Daddy.
Yeah. Enrique actually sounds kind of hot in this story. Enrique does come back later, you know, so he finds himself useful. Okay. So he's not,
Okay, we'll put a pin in Enrique.
Yep. And then, so apparently Enrique knows how far west the Spice Islands go. Like, he was like, I know where it is, you know? So he's like, see, King Charles, like, I got a guy here that knows what he's talking about, you know?
Okay.
So King Charles is 18, and he's just like, sure. You know? Like, why not? I'm 18. And
he's like, he's got a buddy. He's got a companion.
Right. And so King Charles grants him this voyage. And fun fact, Kayleen, this teenage king, same king that commissioned El Moro in Puerto Rico to be built. Yup. So, you know, he's reaching out. He's doing work.
Yeah.
You know?
He's getting it done. He's like, we're going to send people over here, over there. They love the islands. They're all about islands and spices right now.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
All right. Cool.
And so King Manuel, though, the king of Portugal, was like, he heard about all of this and it pissed him off. and he was like, nah.
Oh, man.
He tried to convince Spanish officials that, no, this is a bad idea. What are you guys doing? Don't let him do this. But it didn't work.
Oh, my God.
And then during this entire voyage, he was like sending out Portuguese ships, like kill him, you know, arrest him, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And so and Magellan knew that. And so he was like he had to keep a lookout for these Portuguese ships. So that's commitment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're in danger. You should probably not go. But he did it. Like, so he didn't let it stress him. He still went. Magellan's fleet had 5 ships and about 270 men, and most of them were Spaniards, but there was also Irish and French and Italians.
Oh, okay.
So they were all kind of mixed in there. And they packed supplies that would last up to 2 years. And something that I thought might also fascinate you, Kayleen, is that Magellan's first co-captain stayed behind because, as the astrologer, the stars told him the voyage would not go well if he went.
See? Men out there saying that astrology is fake?
It wasn't just the Polynesians.
Yeah.
You know, they had astrologers of their own on these voyages because they're like, nah, you're my man, you know, tell me where to go.
That's so interesting.
So
he's like, I need a sidekick that knows where to go, and I need somebody to read the stars. We're good. Yep. We're going to find these spices.
Yep. And this astrologer was like, look, man, I talked to the stars, and they just said it's not good if I go. Yeah. So I got to back out. And Magellan's like, now hiring astrologer, please supply within.
Exactly.
So they departed Spain about mid-September, crossed the Atlantic, arrived in Brazil late November. So that took about 2.5 months. And the natives they were already familiar with these Spanish colonists. And so they let them chill there, trade, stock up supplies. And according to one letter written by someone that was on the voyage, they said that the natives were so sad to see them leave that they followed them in canoes trying to get them to stay.
That's so surprising. Like, the fact that, like the rhetoric around all of this is that we don't like them, but they were like, no, we vibe with these guys.
Right, because it's like, usually you think natives versus colonists,
right?
You know, so they sailed further and further south against the coast of South America, trying to find this passageway to get to the Pacific. And that's where the Strait of Magellan was discovered.
Okay.
So they cross it, reach the Pacific, and then Magellan is like, all right, guys, we've got like 3 to 4 days left. That's it. And then we're there, the Spice Islands. But Magellan didn't know how vast the Pacific was. So it ended up taking 3 more months.
Oh, God. That's no way.
And he's like, guys, I'm telling you, it's coming. Oh, like any day now.
Why am I so triggered?
Yeah, he was like confident. And I kind of want to be like, What made you think that it was only 3 to 4 days? Like,
but is this based on? But isn't Enrique supposed to be?
I know.
Telling him
Enrique on this?
Is this Enrique's fault?
Yeah. Did Enrique not do his job, or the astrologer? Did they get it wrong?
He's like, listen, I promise.
I bet Enrique was actually like, nah, dude, you still got a while, and Magellan was just like, no.
Yeah, he's like, we got to give them hope. We got to keep them, excited or inspired.
Right. And he's like, it's not like they can go anywhere.
Can you imagine every day for 3 months be like, it's right around the corner.
Like, we don't see anything out here, Captain. Man, I'm telling you.
It's right around the corner.
So they arrive in Guam, where they ended up fighting with some natives there.
Shout out, You're Gonna Die Out There podcast.
So they end up fighting with the natives there, and they...
the natives, so sorry. The natives in Guam were like, we're not fighting.
No.
These guys,
No.
Brazil? Hell yeah.
No.
Guam? Get out of here.
Yeah. They're like, hello. They're just like throwing these spears.
Get! Go get!
And they even stole some of the goods from them, jumped on the ship, and just I just thought it, from reading it looks like they do that all the time with colonists. So I guess they're just not about it. And so they get through that, and then by mid-March they have reached the Philippines.
Okay.
So it took about a total of 6 months for him to get there, sailing from Spain.
Okay.
So starting south, they're discovering these islands of the Philippines one by one, and they run into some natives. This is documented as the first European contact with the Philippines.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And at first, there was a scare from the natives with the sudden arrival of the colonists. Because this was their first time. They're like, these ships, these weird-looking ships, definitely not the same skin color as us.
Right.
But remember Enrique? Enrique was like, no, I'm here. And they spoke somewhat the same language. So he could communicate with these natives. Okay. So that bought the trust.
So wait, was Enrique from the Philippines?
No. But since the similarity of the languages, because the Spice Islands is Indonesia, so I guess it's just a little south.
Okay.
So the Polynesians probably shared some of that language.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Enrique,
yes.
Boy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He was. I just can imagine him just super hot. He got tattoos and everything. That's how I imagine him. And so he was able to communicate with these natives, meaning they were close to his homeland. Mm-hmm. And so this was confirmation that they were close enough to their destination, meaning that they were halfway done with their circumnavigation. So they were like, "Oh, we made it. Yeah, we could go home. We've done this before, Mm-hmm. So then, so they interacted with these natives well and traded gifts and goods. Then Magellan was introduced to the chief, and they get along, and they become blood brothers. Blood brothers. So by that, they had a blood compact ritual, which consisted them of slicing their hands, mixing their blood in a cup, and then drinking that blood mixture.
That's a little much.
Drinking each other's blood, a mixture of their blood. I just don't know.
That you and I are best friends, but
I just don't know.
I think I draw the line at drinking the blood.
I think I know you're okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
We're secure
without
now.
having to do all that.
It does seem a bit dramatic.
So while Magellan is there, Easter arrives. So they're celebrating Easter, and that's when Magellan is he converts the natives to Christianity. So now he's forcing the religion. Now that comes up.
This comes up so much.
Yeah.
This is the drama.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, in the next destination, there's a lot of that too. So
I'm excited. And so this is when Magellan, he declares the entire archipelago as belonging to Spain by placing a large cross on top of the highest hill on the island. So
that's all it takes.
Yep, he's like, yep, this is ours, belongs to Spain, and here's Jesus. Jesus will be here too.
Boys' rules are so funny. Let's slice your hand open and just touch your blood with my blood. Also, I found the biggest hill on this island, so put my little stake in there, and I win.
And then he's also like, wow, all these islands, this whole thing is mine. And I'm like, I don't think you even discovered the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The people who are already there.
Right.
Did they not discover it?
There's gonna be other islands that are like, bro, I'm not cool with this.
Yeah.
So he declares that, and after that, Magellan holds this meeting with his crew members, and he's like, so what do we do next, guys? He goes, look, what now?
Right.
And his crew was like, can we please go to, like, the Spice Islands, like we're trying to do? Like,
this sounds like our mom sending us on an errand run. It's like, can we just get what we planned on going for?
So he's asking them, you know, and clearly they're like, can we just go to the Spice Islands like we were supposed to?
Uh-huh.
And Magellan was like, nah.
What the hell? Where else is there to go?
He's like, I want to find more islands in this archipelago and claim it. So, and the natives help them do this too. Like, they show them around. They're in their canoes, and, you know, Magellan's in his ship. And they're like, over here, there's an island over here and over here. So they lead Magellan and his crew by canoe to the island of Cebu. That's a beautiful poem. I'm going to work on that.
That's so good.
Where they stop and meet up with this tribe. And these particular natives were used to having Chinese and Arab traders. So they knew traders, but they were like, you don't look Chinese or Arab. You know, you look different. And for them, usually they required tribute in order to trade. Mm-hmm. So, but somehow Magellan convinced them. He's like, nah, I don't think you should make me do that. He was like, I don't know how he convinced them. That's also something I wanted to dig into, because I'm like, what did you do? Why are you so convincing?
Yeah, he seems like a master manipulator. He sounds like a smooth talker.
He also convinced this leader to convert and get baptized, as well as his family. And then that's when Christianity started. Yes, I'm like, wow, okay. It's either Magellan's really good at what he does, or the natives are just gullible.
I want to know what women say about Magellan, because if he's doing all this to like a king and an entire island of people,
right?
What do the women have to say about Magellan?
Yep. So that's when Christianity started to spread, except this one island called Mactan. Mactan is what I want to say. So the chief's name was Lapu Lapu, which that's a name that I've seen around. So he resisted and didn't want anything to do with Magellan and this new religion. Mm-hmm. And Magellan then sent some of his men to burn the tribe's homes to be like, no, you're going to convert. And he was still like, nah, man, I don't care what you do. Like, I don't want you or your religion. Mm. So Magellan says, fine, you know what? We are just going to come in and force you to convert and accept the king of Spain as your ruler.
Damn.
Magellan had some Cebuano men, which is the natives from Cebu.
Okay.
Yeah, those people that he already converted. Mm-hmm. He had them come along, not to fight with him, but to watch.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking maybe that's a way to flex and be like, I'm serious, man. You know, don't, like, this is what I'm going to do to other islands if you don't convert. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was weird that I was like, you're bringing people to watch.
Well, there was no like social media back then, so it's true. Like, we need somebody to spread these stories.
True. Yep, you're right. He needs witnesses.
Yeah, and for a man like Magellan, he wants to be talked about. Like he's like, put my name on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, right.
So
take note.
He pulls up with 60-some men. He's got 60 men. He's ready to attack, and he's like, yep, I got all the weapons ready, like all my advanced weapons, and that these natives, they can't win. There's no way. But Lapu Lapu had 1,500 men.
Oh, get it.
He had 1,500 men waiting for Magellan. And what Magellan did not take into account when he pulled up was that there were coral reefs in his way to get up close. So his cannons and all of that, like their muskets that they had, like they wanted to fight from the ship, couldn't do it. They're too far.
Wow.
Those coral reefs were in the way. Huh. So needless to say, they lost. Magellan lost. And Magellan was struck in the leg by a poisoned arrow. And then he was surrounded by those natives, and they threw a bamboo spear in his face.
A bamboo spear?
I know, that badass.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then finished him off with all their other weapons. And
so wait, Magellan dies?
He dies.
Because of what is his name? Chief Lapu Lapu?
Lapu Lapu.
Whoa!
Yep.
I did not know that Magellan died by the hands of at the Philippines.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm blown away.
And to even add insult to injury, they refused to return the body. Like the chief of Cebu, that guy that was like his friend or whatever, he was like, "Can you please just give us the body, man? Like we just want to, do some type of funeral thing for him, like just for respect." And Chief Lapu-Lapu was like, "Nope, it's ours."
That pettiness.
Yup. They do celebrate Lapu-Lapu over there. There's some type of like day for him. Yeah. So because they like that, he never gave up, never gave in.
Yeah.
So I can respect that. So,
I can't imagine how the Brazilians feel. They're like, man, our boy Magellan's dead.
I know, right?
Yup.
So that would have had to somehow get around,
What did Enrique do? Where's he at?
Okay, so that's also an interesting story. Enrique, in Magellan's will, it was said, when I die, I want Enrique free.
Wow.
The Spaniards on that crew, on the ship, they were like, nah, you're going to be our slave.
Oh, no.
And so Enrique was like, what? So he started exchanging secrets with the natives, like telling them, look, man, they're not all that cool. So don't do it. Like, he started spreading all this stuff, which got the natives against them. And then I think if I remember correctly from what I was reading, those natives started attacking the Spaniards, and those Spaniards had to, like, get out of there and go home.
Oh, my God.
Because Enrique was like, no, you don't.
Right. Oh, my God. I love Enrique. He's a little chismoso.
He is. He was spreading the word. But yeah, he's like, they're not real, man. They're fake. They're phony.
Yeah.
So.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, so the rest of the crew were able to return to Spain, and they ruled the islands for over 300 years. And then years after Magellan's discovery, another explorer named it Las Islas Filipinas after King Philip II.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And then the Spanish-American War happened, so Spain and America, they're fighting over the custody.
Yeah, there you go, that second kid custody battle.
Which Spain lost, so America got a hold of the islands, and America promised the Philippines independence eventually. They were like, just give us like 10 years, and then you can have... apparently, it was so that they could set up the Philippines for success. Then, World War II happened. Japan came in, caused some trouble. America fought them off. And then after that, the Philippines finally gained their independence from the United States on July 4th, 1946. Which is the date of USA's independence.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
Right. And the reason for this is because America wanted to remind the Philippines that they've got their back.
They still want to like maintain friendship with the Philippines.
Exactly. That was their way of saying, "Hey, like here's your. It's the same as our Independence Day, like kind of like that, I guess."
They're like, "Hey, remember us." So that's just the history. We didn't even get into the meat and potatoes of the Filipinos. So
right.
Tell me, so what else about them?
So speaking of Independence Day, which reminds me of national anthems, and I kind of want to hear your input, Kayleen, because this is something I'm curious about. So the national anthem of the Philippines is called Lupang Hinirang, which means chosen land. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful song, and I'll play a specific part here next. And they have some high notes in these songs, and the Star Spangled Banner does the same thing. You know, like it's a high song. So are all national anthems like that? Does anybody know? Put in the comments, and I want to hear it. Does it have to be this pop star level note?
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and just play this recording of Lupang Hinirang being sung by Regine Velasquez. That was Regine Velasquez, who they call the Asia's Songbird. And she was performing that at one of Manny Pacquiao's fights.
That's awesome.
So that was, and she's one of the big stars in the Philippines. She's like the Whitney Houston.
Really?
Yeah, of the Philippines.
That's so cool.
So, and I chose that specific singer because, like I said, she's the equivalent of Whitney Houston to the USA.
Who is regarded as the best one to cover our national anthem.
Yes, exactly. So the story with her, though, is interesting because she started singing at age 6, and her father would put her head in the ocean water, and then she would sing. And she stated that it strengthened her core and stomach muscles and developed her lung capacity. So if you want to become an amazing singer, just dunk your head in ocean water and belt it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I need to try that. Right before I sing at your wedding.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it, I guess. And so you can see a pattern here with these islands that we love music.
Yeah.
They love it. And the way I can explain it for the Philippines is that, as we discussed in the last episode, Puerto Ricans love to dance their trauma and struggles away. Filipinos love to sing their trauma and struggles away. Ooh. So I want to talk about karaoke because it is a huge activity in the Philippines, especially during socializing and gathering. They do it everywhere, and you will hear someone singing karaoke every quarter mile you walk down the street over there. So sometimes there's 2 or 3 going on at once, like when you're walking down the street. You got this guy singing here, this woman singing here, like, you know, so the sounds just mix together. And so where did karaoke come from? So karaoke means empty orchestra. Now, Filipinos did not invent it. They just improved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it starts with a man from Japan named Daisuke Inoue, who is now in his 80s, so he's still alive.
Wow.
He invented it in the 1970s, and his job then was to provide background music for businessmen who wanted to perform on stage. Which is so funny, because it's just like businessmen. But
whole thing. I think it's so funny to think about these men just being like, I just don't know where to express myself.
Daisuke, he was like, I got you, man. I'm going to play music for you, and you just sing on stage, and you just be the star that you are. I know it's hard. Awesome. Yup, you work hard. You know, yes. I just imagine, the thing is I imagine them in like a suit and like a briefcase, and they're just ready to go. Like, so one client wasn't able, for some reason, attend a performance. So Daisuke recorded it on tape, and then karaoke was created. Oh. But he never patented the invention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just think that the world would be a better place if we all could just prioritize the fact that if you have to sing your heart out, dance your heart out, like to deal with some things.
So it's actually funny you point that out because he was actually recognized. He won an Ig Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. For creating an invention that teaches a new way for people to tolerate each other. So the Ig Nobel Prize, have you heard of that?
No.
So it is a parody of the Nobel Prize for unusual scientific achievements. And I got a couple examples.
Okay.
So another one is a couple won the prize for inventing the scent strips in the magazines for perfume ads. They won under the chemistry category. So they won that, which they well deserve that. Like, that's awesome. And then cardiology, under cardiology, a group of researchers won for proving that when a couple meets and are attracted to each other, their heart rates synchronize.
That's so beautiful.
I know. It's like, so they proved that, and they won that Ig Nobel Peace Prize. So finally, Filipino Roberto del Rosario filed a patent for a karaoke machine system, the sing-along system, which it includes scoring from 0 to 100. So they invented the scoring on the karaoke machines. And they call it Video-K, since it plays the video and everything. So I actually remember walking through the Philippines, like in the mall, and seeing salespeople who work for that store, who don't even work for the karaoke brand, and they have to sing in the middle of like their work day while people are shopping. to advertise this karaoke machine that they're selling.
So funny. They have an entire economy based around karaoke.
So can you imagine having that job where you're like, hey man, when do you sing next? I mean, do they have a rotation? Do you have to audition? Like, how's this work? But
Are they good?
They are. And I'm like, you're actually really good.
There's so many good singers on the island. Like, what in the world?
Yes.
Or do you think it's like because it's so accepted culturally that there's more better singers because they have more opportunities to practice without shame?
Yeah, that's true. And then also they understand, I've also noticed that they understand notes. They understand what sounds good. Mm-hmm. They understand, it's not just singing.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that they have passion when they sing. Like, it's not just singing. They're like, I'm doing this,
Well, I know that, you're an example of that. You were in music and you were a drummer. You did, did you do jazz band too?
I did.
Yeah, you were doing music and stuff. And then also you helped, with the intro song to our podcast too.
I did.
Which we get lots of compliments for, by the way. Yay! Yeah. Yes.
And then there are local businesses everywhere there who rent out these huge karaoke machines that are they're like arcade machines.
Oh, okay.
They're huge. And so they will deliver it to you, and then they'll give you a book, like this big book of just like all the numbers, and they'll always update it. Microphones.
Catalog.
Yes, like the catalog.
Okay,
yep.
Gotcha.
So you'll look up, the songs that you want to sing.
Right,
I used to have like a notepad on my phone of just the numbers, so that would be a surprise.
That's so funny.
And then also, too, if it's a lot of us, we'd have to write on the clipboard, this is my song, your name, and just go in order because there are some strict rules. So you take turns. So there's that list that goes around. And you don't sing the same song as somebody else. It's considered rude.
And then I'm sure that there's some drama around that, too. So I'd be like, you knew I was going to sing that song.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you hog the microphone, so if you sing more than one song at a time, you're considered eating the microphone. That's the term that they use. So one crazy thing that I learned is that the song My Way by Frank Sinatra was a song that triggered a lot of murders.
What?
Around the late 1990s and during the 2000s. So dozens of people were murdered for singing that song because they were either bad at singing it or they sang the song first before.
Why that song? Do you know?
I don't know.
And that's they're like a bit behind because that song came out when, the 60s?
Yeah, that's actually pretty late if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just a song that I've always heard. Zombie's one of them by the Cranberries.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, so, it's just those hits that they do like to sing, but that one for some reason just upset people.
Wow.
So, and then they stopped singing it. It's like, no, you don't sing that song.
Right,
because of risky.
This. It's so interesting that song has that kind of impact. Is it because they all love that big note, the I did it my way, or whatever? I feel like there's some similar drama around the song, not murders, but singing certain songs at karaoke, Whitney Houston's don't let me close one more door. I'm not gonna even try. It's yeah, listen in. I don't want to hurt anymore. But I feel like that's big too. I've seen that on a lot of Filipino singing competitions. Yeah. These girls be like, oh, wait, I'm 4'8", but my voice is 15 feet tall, and it's insane the pipes that these girls have.
Yes,
and it's so normal.
I know they act like it's so easy. Oh yeah, I'm just doing this.
Yeah, I tried to have a little bit of confidence growing up. Singing, I was singing, doing talent shows, stuff like that. I wanted to be in we were trying to start a band constantly, But then I go over to your house, and your mom's watching an 8-year-old just killing it with Celine Dion.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm like, well,
how can we compete with that?
Exactly. So so crazy.
That is just a fun way for them to spend time with family.
Yeah.
And no judgment. You can actually sit there and ignore. You don't have to sit there and be committed to watching them sing.
Yeah.
You can just go off and do whatever you want. But yeah, that's what I like too. People come in and out. Nobody's offended that you guys aren't watching me. It's not like that. It's just you sing and then we'll listen. Yeah. Even though if it looks like we're not paying attention, We'll sing along with you. I wish karaoke was more of an acceptable activity.
Me too.
So I do it a lot when I'm in the Philippines. It was fun. Spend time with our family. But here, I don't do it at all. Like, I don't see it. And I tried to have it at a party we had last year, and only like 3 of us sang.
I will say, this past Thanksgiving, my family and I decided to do karaoke in the basement.
That's right.
Yes, and it was so fun. It was the best Thanksgiving I've had in a long time. We were too busy picking songs and singing and doing our own renditions. We didn't have time to talk about politics. We didn't have time to like talk about family drama. We didn't have time to critique or like, we weren't even thinking about like just everybody's faults. We were just getting up there and singing Christmas songs and getting in the mood. And it brought like my niece like into the fold. Like she just like broke out of her shell and sang. My boyfriend sang. Like, it was just so good.
So I love that.
Yeah.
So another way Filipinos show love are sending balikbayan boxes. So balikbayan means return to your homeland. Balik means come back, bayan means country or homeland or whatever. So that box is a box that a Filipino who lives overseas and far away from their family will mail out to them, and it's filled with gifts, toys, candy, and anything we can think of. My entire life, my mom has had these huge boxes laying around, and it's normal for me. So she would have these huge boxes laying out in the house, and she'd start filling them up. And once it's full, she will wrap it up with layers and layers and layers of tape, brown and clear, all of it. And then there's addresses on each side. So she'll send it off. And all that stuff that's in there is called pasalubong, which means something for when you welcome me.
Aww.
Yeah. So Filipinos will send about 5 boxes once a year, generally. So this is a very common practice among Filipinos who work and live abroad, especially for those who are working overseas to provide for their family. So it's their special way to show love and support, and that they haven't left them. Like, they might be miles away, but they want to provide for their family.
I love that.
Yep. And so after accumulating all the pasalubong for the family, the boxes are taped shut. And I don't know if any other Filipinos do this, but it's a tradition for our family to hug and kiss the box before we send it.
That's so sweet.
Because it's like saying, for the receiving family, it's like, we love and miss you. We hug. I don't know if that's, if it is, if you're a Filipino and you do that, let me know in the comments. But I'd like to know. And I hope, if y'all don't do it, I hope you do. Because it actually feels good to do that.
For the Filipino listeners, when do you start your box? How long does it take?
Yes, tell us what your system is, because it's got to be different.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, and Mom utilizes, she uses clearances, after Easter candy, after Halloween candy, and then that's when she'll ship it. She'll make sure to get, at least a clearance. Because that's got to be expensive. It's a big family.
It's so funny because so my other very close but yet so far very, very good friend, best friend, Naomi, and she and I, we don't get to see each other very often, but when we do, we always present a bag of a collection of things that we've collected from the years. Yeah, and we're doing this Filipino cultural heritage thing without even really noticing. Yes. And it's, I love it. And I just didn't even think about that until just now.
And even souvenirs and stuff.
Yes.
That's considered pasalubong.
Yes.
So.
Love you, Naomi.
So, we hug and kiss the box. And while I was growing up, we had to travel a few hours to get them shipped. But because Filipinos are starting to accumulate where we live, we now have local services that will come to your house to pick it up. But last time, Mom actually had to meet up with this company at a Walmart parking lot. And then there was a bunch of other Filipinos with their boxes, and they mail it out. And once it's mailed out, it takes about maybe 2 to 3 months for them to arrive. Yeah. And it's starting to be, I think, where you can track it now. Which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
So it goes on that big cargo ship, and then it goes. So all of mine and my brother's childhood toys, once we were done with them, we outgrew them, they went into the box. Mm-hmm. So I remember seeing our PlayStation 1 again, and they're playing with it, and it's in good condition. And my Barbie dolls, like my aunt's granddaughters now have, like they're playing with them, and my clothes as a child. I mean, I'm still seeing that stuff, and it looks like new because they cherish it and they take care of it. And if we have any thoughts about getting rid of anything, and to this day, the first thing we'd ask ourselves, can we send that in the box? Like, am I willing to just give that away? You know? Wow. So we all pitch into this box and offer, you know, anything that we can. If it could somehow benefit and make our family happy, we would send it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute and sweet. I love it. I love how much love that there is in the culture, and like how there's a lot of acceptance. There's just, that's what I kept hearing is like, yeah, I'm sure there's like a ton of other drama and stuff to balance it all out. But like, there's just so much like love and acceptance, and just accepting like who you are and where you are in your moments, and like, you know, just like the karaoke thing, and like, you know, just like allowing people to express themselves, and also just the continued reminders to the people that you love, like, hey, you're never forgotten, no matter how far away we are, like we've found a way to still show love. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Exactly. And shout out to all of my family in the Philippines. I miss you and love you all. Also a special shout out to our tatay in heaven. And as we always ask at the end of our episodes, what zodiac sign is the Philippines?
Yes. I was thinking about that this entire time, like trying to just think about different traits.
The whole time I was talking. Pisces, Virgo.
I'm like, Magellan is straight up.
Wait, what's Magellan?
I was going to say, God, Magellan does give off a little bit of Leo vibes, but I was like, he's so messy though, and a liar and a good talker, maybe Gemini. So let's shout out in the comments. What do we think? I'm not going to look it up. We're not going to look it up.
You know what? Yeah, Magellan's what's Magellan's? What's our boyfriend
Enrique's sign? Yeah.
I mean,
besties. So, okay, but the Philippines, yeah, I was thinking Taurus. Because the story of Chief Lapu-Lapu. Yeah, Chief Lapu-Lapu, he was stubborn, bullish, like that kind of thing, but for his people. And he was just like, leave us alone. And he's like, I'm literally just trying to chill. And I said, go on, and you're not getting the body. Sorry. So I felt like Taurus vibes a little. Also just sort of like this lover of like this, I don't know, it just seems so like, they're ruled by Venus. Maybe that's like part of the love that they are so willing to give and receive, and like just even amongst each other. And Taurus rules the vocal cords.
Oh,
I just put that together.
Okay,
Taurus vibes. Yep. And you know what? Argue with us in the comments if you have a better idea, but I'm sticking with Taurus all the way.
Yep. So there are connections between Puerto Rico and the Philippines that you wouldn't expect. And we've already covered the islands that Kayleen and I are both from.
We are going to connect a final island in our island series, and you'll just have to tune in and find out what it is. Follow us on Instagram at Chaos Theory Cosmic Chisme. Hit the notification bell on Spotify. Whatever it is on Apple Podcasts, do that too. Follow us, and we will update you on our episodes when they should be dropping. Again, we are still sticking with this 2-week schedule, releasing late on Thursdays currently, but we are getting there.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
Yeah, keep gossiping.